Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to Virtual University. I am your course instructor for training and development, and this is the 30th lecture that we are meeting for today. We were discussing about training methods, and the previous couple of sessions have been dedicated to understanding the category of training methods, which is called traditional training methods. Today we are going to start talking about technology-based training methods. These are different from traditional training methods because technology is used in dissemination of learning. The concept of learning may be very similar to a traditional training method, but the only difference is that there is some kind of modern technology that is used in these kind of training methods. So the modern technologies that are used in these kind of training methods are computers and the internet. आपको तो पता ही है कि कंप्यूटर और इंटरनेट ने हमारी जिंदगी को, हमारे काम को, हमारी दुनिया को कितना चेंज कर दिया. We have so many more opportunities, we have so many more possibilities, we have so many more options and choices because of technology and because of computers. So, similarly, in the field of training and development, computer and technology has made a great difference in the way teaching or learning can be provided. Companies and organizations, they are more frequently using technologies and training methods which incorporate some kind of computer use or internet use. So before we start discussing about the advantages of technology or the various different types of training methods that use technology and computers, let us first look at the actual picture. Let us first look at what is the current situation of organizations and how much organizations are using technology, how much they are incorporating the computer and internet into their learning processes. So let's look at some statistics from which you can get an idea of how much technology is yet incorporated in today's organizations. So these are some of the facts. These are data from 2008. According to this data, 10% of training is delivered in a virtual classroom and 18% is delivered online. 71% of companies use structured collaboration such as communities of practice. Communities of practice are the most frequently used collaborative learning tool, which is 22%, followed by podcasts and mobile learning, which is 14%, blogs 8%, and wikis 7%. 32.1% of learning hours involve technology-based learning methods. 38% of companies use learning management systems. Broken down by size, 79% of large, which means 10,000 or more employees, 57% of mid-sized, which means 1,000 to 9,999 employees, and 36% of small companies, which have about 100 to 999 employees, they use learning management systems. And 21% of large companies use e-learning to deliver training compared to 17% of mid-size and small companies. So this is the current picture of how much companies are using, how much organizations have incorporated methods that involve some kind of technology. So you can see from that about 71% use structured collaboration, which involves collaboration between employees, collaboration between trainees by using some kind of technology such as email, or, as I said, the example that is communities of practice. Communities of practice these are online places, online spaces in which the trainees, the participants, the employees, they can post information. There is space for uploading resources, uploading materials, and people come to those places. They discuss about various issues, they discuss about various topics. So a community of practice can be a place on which a specific kind of topic or topics related to a specific area, they are discussed within the organization. And this discussion and this interaction and collaboration, it takes place over the internet, it takes place online. So it's like a chat room in which you can go, in which you know that if you go into that chat room, you will be talking about that specific area. For example, performance management, or something that is related to operations, or any specific area of your organization on which employees want to talk about. Such as Caterpillar, which is the leading manufacturer of machinery, they have about 3,000 communities of practice. These communities of practice, they range from very small groups to large groups, depending upon how many people require to collaborate, require to get information about a particular topic in the organization. So in these communities of practice, people know that they can go if they want to learn about something, if they want to learn about a particular topic, they want to find resources, they want to talk to experts, they can know what is going on, and they can use information that is very much up to date, because people are continuously coming to those forums, to those communities of practice in which information is updated very frequently. So communities of practice is one of the most frequently used tool for collaboration, which involves some use of technology, which is an online tool for collaboration. और इसमें क्या है कि आपकी opportunity or possibilities बहुत बढ़ जाती हैं. People from all over the world, from any geographical location, can plug into these communities of practice. They can go to these spaces. They just have to have access to the internet, and they can approach these places from the organization, and they can get information, get resources. They can enhance their learning no matter wherever they are geographically placed. So information is disseminated at a very large scale, and information is disseminated very effectively on these kind of collaborative networks. Okay, so these were the different kind of statistics which show how much organizations have incorporated technology in their dissemination of learning and into their training and development function. There are various different methods that can incorporate the use of technology. And the various methods that we are going to discuss, they include online learning, which is called e-learning. Then another method which could use of technology is distance learning. Simulations can incorporate technology. Then virtual reality is a way to enhance the function of learning. Then expert systems can provide technology-based learning. Then electronic support systems. And finally, a learning management system is something that incorporates the use of technology and is very effective for enhancing the effectiveness of learning and the training and development function. All right, so before we go on to discuss specific kind of methods that include the use of technology, let us first look at the various advantages, the influence that technology has made over the learning function. Over the period of previous discussions over the topics that we have discussed previously, in this course. We have discussed many times the use of technology. We have discussed many times various different learning methods that involve use of technology, such as online learning, and how it can be used for various aspects of enhancing training and development. But over that, we have discussed it in a fragmented manner because the topics were basically focused on something else, such as transfer of training or such as evaluation. So over that, we have also talked about these various kind of training methods. But this is the discussion which actually focuses on talking about what technology, how does technology influence the learning and development function, and what are the various different methods that require the use of technology, and how does that enhance. So this discussion is specifically dedicated to understanding the influence and the importance of the use of technology, and then discussing about the various specific methods and the pros and cons of those specific methods. So there may be some things that we have already discussed about, but we are actually integrating all that we have talked about previously in a fragmented manner in a specific discussion which is focused on the use of technology in training and development. So the influence of technology on training and development, on enhancing the learning effectiveness, the influences are manifold. You can guess yourself कि technology ने learning को, training को, education को किस तरह से improve किया है, क्या-क्या possibilities improve की हैं. So let's talk about them. पहली जो improvement टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से लर्निंग के फंक्शन में आ सकती है वो ये है कि एम्प्लॉयज दे कैन गेन कंट्रोल ओवर व्हेन एंड वेयर दे रिसीव ट्रेनिंग. सो बजाय इसके कि एम्प्लॉयज किसी एक स्पेसिफिक क्लासरूम में जाएं या एक ट्रेनिंग सेशन स्पेसिफिकली अरेंज किया जाए जिसके लिए उनको खास तौर पे अपने काम को छोड़ के किसी जगह जाके वो ट्रेनिंग सेशन अटेंड करना है और एक स्पेसिफिक टाइम डेडिकेट करना है और वो ट्रेनिंग सेशन उसी एक टाइम में प्रोवाइड किया जा सकता है. ऑनलाइन लर्निंग या टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड लर्निंग के थ्रू वो ट्रेनिंग या वो लर्निंग किसी भी वक्त की जा सकती है. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर CD-ROM के ऊपर CD के ऊपर एक प्रोग्राम राइट कर दिया गया है और वो CD एम्प्लॉय किसी भी वक्त अपने कंप्यूटर के ऊपर प्ले कर सकता है, या ऑनलाइन लर्निंग के थ्रू वो एम्प्लॉय किसी भी वक्त लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम को एक्सेस कर सकता है और जब उसको ये लगे कि उसके पास टाइम है, उसके पास एनर्जी है, वो उस टाइम के ऊपर लर्निंग अपनी जो है वो कर सकता है. सो इट गिव्स द एम्प्लॉय मोर कंट्रोल ओवर when and where to learn. Then another advantage is that employees can access knowledge and expert systems on an as needed basis. So एक तो ये कि the employees can gain access at the time when they feel comfortable. एक ऐसा सिचुएशन भी होती है जब आपको इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए होती है, जब आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रही होती है, जब आप कोई ट्रबल शूटिंग करना चाह रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल आप मशीनरी ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं और बिकॉज इट इज अ न्यू मॉडल तो वो मशीनरी जो है वो आपको उसकी समझ नहीं आ रही, तो एक्सपर्ट सिस्टम्स जो हैं या इलेक्ट्रॉनिक परफॉर्मेंस सपोर्ट सिस्टम्स जो हैं वो आपके साथ दे आर अवेलेबल फॉर यू टू एक्सेस एनी टाइम and you can get information about that new machinery, about troubleshooting any problems that can come up in that new machinery, and you can access them on an as needed basis. So or if you're a salesperson और आपको अपनी कंपनी की प्रोडक्ट लाइन के बारे में कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए, कोई नया प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च हुआ है और आपके पास उस प्रोडक्ट के बारे में सारी कंप्लीट इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है, सो बजाय इसके कि आप अपने सेल्स मैनेजर के पास जाएं या आपको बुकलेट जाके ढूंढें जिसके अंदर उस प्रोडक्ट की इंफॉर्मेशन आप उसको एक्सेस कर सकें, उसकी बजाय अगर एक ऑनलाइन सिस्टम है जिसमें आपकी प्रोडक्ट की पूरी कैटलॉग पड़ी हुई है और उसको आप किसी भी वक्त पे एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, तो आप अपने मोबाइल फोन के साथ जिसके ऊपर इंटरनेट कनेक्शन है, यू जस्ट लॉग ऑन टू योर वेबसाइट एंड यू कैन गेट द इन्फॉर्मेशन अबाउट दैट प्रोडक्ट. और अगर आप किसी अपने क्लाइंट के पास बैठे हैं और आपने उसको वो इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करनी है, तो you can provide that on an as needed basis. So by the use of technology, employees can access information on an as needed basis. They can enhance their learning at the point where they actually feel that they are deficient in some kind of knowledge or some kind of a skill. So that is a very huge difference that technology can make in enhancing the learning effectiveness. Another advantage of technology is that the learning environment can look, feel and sound just like the work environment. So agar aap virtual reality की बात करते हैं या अगर आप simulations की बात करते हैं, तो ये एक ऐसी situation है, एक ऐसा environment है जो कि आप क्रिएट कर सकते हैं which actually looks like the work environment. And by using avatars, for example, avatars जो कि आपके कंप्यूटर में real life persons की सूरत में they interact with you, they talk to you, or for example if you are getting a training on customer service and avatars of actual customers, they appear on your computer screen and they interact with you as it would be in an actual work environment. The look and feel of that interaction would actually be very similar to your work environment. And then virtual reality is a kind of situation in which a 3D model of your work environment is created, जिसके अंदर आप मूव कर रहे हैं, जिसमें facilities, offices, environment बिल्कुल उसी तरह से create कर दिया जाता है जिस तरह से आपका actual work environment है, और आप उसमें log in करके तो you actually feel like you are a part of that environment. So that is also another advantage of using technology, that through simulations, through virtual reality, through avatars, you can make the learning environment look and feel like the work environment. Another advantage of the use of technology is that employees can choose the type of media they want to use in a training program. So the type of media, if you want to read, if you want to have a print material in front of you, you don't want to listen to a lecture, or you just want to go through the notes, you can do that. You have the choice that whether you want to look at the notes, or you want to look at the video, or you want to only listen to. So you can just plug in to your headphones, and if you want to listen, you can listen. If you want to see the video, you have the choice. And if you want to read the notes, you can understand by reading. So whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever makes your understanding more comfortable, you can use that kind of media to learn various different things in your organization. So that is also another added advantage of using technology. Then paperwork and time needed for administrative activities, that is also reduced. So all the paperwork, all the printing work that is required to be done, and a lot of administrative work that requires to be done, it can be done online. For example, you can enroll in various courses online, and so you don't have to go somewhere, and one person does not have to be dedicated to that specific enrollment. It can be designed within the online learning management system, let's say, and you can just go and enroll. So the requirement of that person who would be doing that enrollment and all that paperwork that had to be done, that can be eliminated from by the use of technology. Another advantage is that employees' accomplishments during training can be monitored. So usually what happens is that the learning effectiveness of the trainee, that can be measured after the training has taken place. But when you are using some technology, when you are using an online learning system, it is possible that you can track the progress of the person as the person progresses during that training program. So it is possible to actually track the progress during the training program rather than seeing that what happens at the end. So you get the information about the entire learning progress, which you would not have gained if you had used a traditional training program. So that is another advantage. Then traditional training methods can be delivered to trainees rather than requiring them to come to a central training location. So you can use various traditional training methods such as lectures or such as videos and put them online, such as your own virtual university. The lectures, they are delivered in a traditional method. They are delivered by professors, but they are transmitted to you through a technology-based system. So you don't have to be actually present in front of the teacher, in front of the course instructor at the time when the lecture is being delivered, but by the use of technology, this traditional training method is converted into a technology-based training method, and you don't have to be present at the time the lecture is being delivered. You can listen to this lecture on videos. You have CDs that are available that you can purchase. You have these lectures on YouTube, and these lectures are also aired on the television. So there are so many different choices available for you, and you don't have to be actually you don't have to be present in a classroom to listen to these lectures. So a traditional training method that can be converted into a technology-based training method, and it can be delivered online and by the use of technology. Another advantage of using technology is digital collaboration. Digital collaboration is the use of technology to enhance and extend employees' abilities to work together regardless of their geographic proximity. So employees, they do not have to be present in a geographic proximity. उनको एक जगह पे उनको आस-पास located होना ज़रूरी नहीं है. Collaboration is possible digitally by the use of technology, as we just discussed about communities of practice, that these are places in which people can go and they can discuss about various different aspects of a specific topic, and they can access resources and materials, and they can talk to experts. And the expert can be located thousands of miles away, and they can get to interact with that person, and they can get to collaborate with that person. So technology, it provides the opportunity for people to interact with each other regardless of their geographic proximity. This collaboration can be synchronous or asynchronous. ये बात हम पहले भी कर चुके हैं. Synchronous collaboration means it is live collaboration. There is no time delay in that. And asynchronous collaboration means there is time delayed collaboration, such as a video conferencing, that is a synchronous collaboration, whereas email, that is an asynchronous collaboration. Okay, so these were the various advantages, the various influences that technology has on the dissemination of education, the dissemination of learning, and the training function of an organization. Prior to the introduction of technology, there were some shortcomings in the way training was delivered in traditional training methods. And technology has actually filled those gaps. It has reduced those shortcomings. Those shortcomings were that learning, first of all, it was sort of a linear process. Linear process का क्या मतलब है कि it used to be a set of steps that were covered in a linear way. So पहले lecture देना है, lecture के end पे question answer session होना है, question answer session के बाद एक test होना है, examination होना है, उसके बाद training खत्म हो जाएगी. उसके बाद जो trainees हैं वो आपस में कुछ collaborate कर सकते हैं, आपस में कुछ discuss कर सकते हैं, So it was a kind, and then when they leave the training program and if they want to discuss something with experts or with technical resource people, they have to do that afterwards. So it was a linear function, a stepwise function. Whereas with the use of technology, the learning function has become more non-linear function. So you can be collaborating with experts and listening to a tutorial. You can be working on some practice assignment and then go back and listen to the tutorial. So you can, shift the sequence, and the process does not remain linear anymore. So that improves your possibilities, that improves your choices, that if you want to do something prior to doing another thing, you can actually change the sequence of that. Then another shortcoming was that trainees, they played a passive role. For example, if somebody has to come and deliver a lecture, they've got to listen to that. If a video is being shown, they have got to watch the video. So, and they were not actually taking the decision that we have to go and learn, we have to take the initiative ourselves, but rather a specific training program would be organized, and the employees, they would be told that this is the training program that you can access, you can go and attend, and all the choice that trainees probably would have had was that whether they want to go or they don't want to go. So that was a kind of a passive role that trainees had in the learning process. Now with the use of technology, the trainees, they need to be more active in the learning process. So if you have a learning management system, it is the trainee himself that has to take the decision that, yes, I have to listen to the lecture, I have got to watch the tutorial, I've got to see the video, I've got to attempt the exercise that is given in that learning management system. So there is nobody who is actually making you do it. You're not a passive recipient of this activity. You're actually actively taking the initiative. You're actually actively involved in deciding that you want to learn. So trainees, they actually take a more active role with the use of technology in the learning process. Another shortcoming of traditional training methods was that communication, most of the times, it used to be one way. So in a classroom lecture, if you're shown a video, the communication that usually used to be one way. But with the use of technology, communication has now become a two-way process. Then another shortcoming was that contact with resource materials and experts required learners to go out of the formal learning environment. So the only expert, the only learned person that you had in a traditional training program was the course instructor. And if you want to collaborate, if you want to interact, if you want to send a question to another expert, because nobody is know-all. Nobody has ultimate knowledge. So a course instructor cannot have ultimate knowledge about a particular topic. So there may be a person who can give you a better advice on a specific topic. So if you want to talk to that person, if you want to interact with that person, in a traditional training method, you will first have to attend the lecture, complete the training program, and then go and interact with that expert that you think that would be able to give you advice. So whereas in an online training method, a technology-based training method, you have the possibility to interact side by side with that person, with that expert as well. So you can email that person, or if it is possible, video conference with that person who is an expert, and then you can access materials which are relevant to your course material, which are relevant to your training material. But in a traditional training method, you would have accessed them after you had left the training session. Whereas in this, in technology-based training method, it is possible that you can access those resource materials. For example, if there is a hyperlink given within the course material, within the notes, you can just click on that and that hyperlink will open, that resource material can open. You can go through that and you can come back to your lecture notes or the content that you were reading. So this can happen side by side, whereas previously the resource material and the experts, interaction with that was possible after the training session would have ended. Now, another advantage of technology is that interaction among learners occurred primarily outside the training room and tended to be limited. So, एक तो ये कि trainees का interaction सिर्फ उसी group तक limited होता था जो कि training session attend कर रहे हैं. So, अगर ये एक 5 या 6 या 10 लोगों का group है, तो फिर आपका interaction सिर्फ उन्हीं लोगों के साथ होगा उस learning activity के बारे में. So, that is one of the shortcomings that technology has eliminated. So, such as in communities of practice, you can talk to anybody who is going through the same learning phase, who is located anywhere in the world. So, geographic proximity is not required. You have opportunity to interact with people all over the globe. So, the interaction, it has improved and it has become a lot more easier to talk to people, to interact with people, to collaborate with people all over the world. So the learning process that has from linear, it has become a lot more dynamic. And the role of the instructor that has, rather than somebody who is making people understand, who's making people learn, the role of the instructor has turned into somebody who is viewed as a facilitator. The person is not actually making people do anything. He is facilitating them to learn. So the role of the instructor has shifted to being a coach and a resource person. So a person who facilitates learning. If you can see in this slide, this is a traditional learning environment. It is a classroom learning environment. And you can see that there is one-way communication between the trainer. The delivery and content is being disseminated to the learners. And within that environment, the learners, they are restricted to that environment. And if they want to collaborate with experts or if they want to gain access to resource material, that is outside that classroom learning environment. So, इस picture से जो हम अभी बात कर रहे थे कि एक तो linear है learning process, दूसरा ये कि communication one way है और तीसरा ये कि resource materials or experts के साथ interaction that takes place outside the learning environment, and you can see that there is no interaction between the learners. So, the learner is only listening to information. It is only a passive recipient of information that is being disseminated in a traditional classroom learning environment. And if the learner wants to get information or collaborate with experts or gain access to resource materials, that is outside the learning environment. So this is a depiction of what we have just discussed previously in the last few minutes. Now, if you look at technological learning environment, you can see that there are so many more different interactions between the trainer, between experts, between the learners, and between the technology. So you can see that technology and delivery mechanism, for example, an online method of delivery or iPod or simulations, the content is being delivered to the learner, and the learners, they can respond and get feedback. So it becomes a two-way communication. Then learners, they are communicating with each other as well. And the role of the trainer and instructor is to design the learning material and then to give advice or facilitate learners to understand the learning material and if they want to collaborate. So the trainer is actually designing the training content and in some places maybe giving online lectures or online tutorials. So, and then you can see that there is interaction between experts, between the learners, and that is also a two-way communication. And then learners, they can access resource materials at the same time when they are actually going through the learning activity. So there are so many various different possibilities of learning that open up in this technological learning environment, and people can learn through communicating with other learners, they can learn through working on virtual projects, they can participate in games, they can listen to other people, they can exchange ideas, they can interact with experts, and they can discover more ideas and applications using hyperlinks that are given in those resource materials. So it opens up a humongous amount of opportunities and improves the possibilities of learning to a great extent. So you can see the difference between the classroom learning environment and the technological learning environment, that how much interaction is increased in a technological learning environment. Then there is another kind of learning environment which is being used in current organizations, and that is a blended learning environment. In this you can see that both the type of trainings they are given, so both the possibilities, traditional training methods such as a classroom lecture or a workshop or a group discussion that requires face-to-face interaction with the learner and the learners themselves, that is included in it, and online learning is also a part of this blended learning environment. So people can first of all attend a classroom lecture, they can attend group discussion, a workshop, and then they can access a learning management system, they can access an expert system, they can access online learning, and then collaborate with experts and gain access to resource materials and websites. So a blended learning environment is an environment which takes advantage of both face-to-face interaction and also the advantages of online collaboration and online communication. So you've just seen the three different types of learning environments and how interaction takes place in all these, in these three types of learning environments. Now, the use of technology that can be incorporated in the learning function to certain levels. So, the use of technology can take place at certain level, from a very small level, from the very basic level, to making the learning activity completely technology-based. So the levels of incorporation of technology in the learning activity, they start from basic to more complex. So the very basic kind of incorporation of technology is only for communication. So people can communicate with each other. You can, for example, email your course instructor, or you can email your colleagues and peers, the trainees who are attending the training program, or you can communicate, you can go to a chat room, for example, and talk about various aspects of the learning activity. So communication, that is the first level of incorporation of technology in the learning function. The second level is online referencing, that the course material that is provided to you, that includes some online references. For example, a hyperlink is there, and you can access resources, and hyperlink is there, you can access resources of documents, and you can access resources of videos. So online referencing, technology is used to enhance the course material, to enhance the learning material. The third level of incorporation is assessment and testing. So the testing that you do, the assessment that you carry out, that is by using technology. So the exam, for example, if you have got to take an exam, that exam is attempted on a computer rather than on a pencil and a paper. And for example, TOEFL के या GRE के या GMAT के जो tests होते हैं, वो online tests होते हैं. You have to go and sit in front of a computer, and your responses are recorded on the computer online, and the test is administered online. So the testing and assessment is carried out by an online system. So that is the third level of incorporation of technology in the learning activity. The fourth level is delivery of computer-based training and multimedia and mobile technology. So that is the fourth level, that you deliver training through computer-based methods. For example, your training program is available on a CD, or it is available online, or it is available on some kind of technology or multimedia, or it is available on mobile technology. You can access your website, and from that you can access your training material and the actual learning, the training content that is provided on technology, that is provided through the use of technology. And the next level is online learning, blended learning, and simulations. So that is the next level, that from a CD that you have, you actually go to online learning and blended learning. And a simulation is that is an environment in which an actual work environment is replicated. So you are actually, you feel like you are sitting in the work environment, which is your learning environment. So that is the next level of incorporation of technology. And finally, the last level, that is expert systems and electronic performance support systems. So expert systems and electronic performance support systems, they are available to you all the time while you are working, and you can get information from that on an as-needed basis. So whenever learning is required, whenever information is required, it is available to you in those electronic performance support systems. You can access them, and you can get information whenever it is required. So that is the next step for of level of incorporation of technology in the learning process, that from online learning, from that things being available to you on in places which are accessible anytime, these are resources that you can access while you are working. So they provide you support all the time while you are working. So that is the incorporation of technology to the highest level. So these were the various levels of incorporation of technology in your learning and training function, starting from the very basic, that is communication, and that goes up to providing you with expert systems or electronic performance support systems. All right, so now we will discuss about various specific training methods that incorporate technology in the learning activity. The first method that we are going to talk about is multimedia training. Multimedia training is training which combines audiovisual training methods with computer-based training. So multimedia training is a kind of training which incorporates a number of multimedia, number of medias for the training delivery. So it can incorporate audiovisual techniques, for example, videos with computer-based training. So videos that are provided to you on a computer disk, that is called a multimedia training. So there are various different advantages and disadvantages of multimedia training. Now, multimedia training, that can also involve the use of paperwork, use of actual notes, as well as some supplement by a CD-ROM or supplement by some kind of multimedia device. So a multimedia training content that can incorporate various different sorts of medias to enhance the learning content. The various different advantages of multimedia training, the advantages of them is that it is self-paced. Self-paced, that you can pace your own learning according to your own comfort, according to your own, according to the time that you have. So it is self-paced. That is one of the advantages. Then it is interactive. Interactive in the term that if you are, if you play the CD, for example, if you have a CD of let's say GRE test or of TOEFL, You can attempt the questions and you can get answers whether you have attempted right or wrong. So that is interactive. That gives you a response, that gives you a feedback. So that is interactive. Then there is consistency of content. Whatever the content is there, content will not change. So content will remain consistent. Then there is consistency of delivery. Whatever you have included in the content, that whatever way you have, the method you have designed for delivery, that is going to be consistent throughout and consistent for all the trainees who are receiving that package of multimedia training. Then it offers geographic accessibility. Anybody can access your multimedia. You can provide it anywhere. For example, if it is a CD, you can send it anywhere in the world and it would be accessible. So it provides geographic accessibility. Another advantage is that it provides immediate feedback. So the attempt that you are making, the exercise that you are doing on that media, you will receive immediate feedback, receive immediate response from that. Another advantage that it has a built-in guidance system. So whatever that package of multimedia is provided to you, it will have a system of, an inbuilt system of guidance that how you have to proceed with the learning activity. Another advantage is that it appeals to multiple senses. So you can read, you can watch, you can listen. So your multiple senses, they are engaged in that learning activity. And it also provides learning in privacy. So you can access those materials, you can access that content in the privacy of your own room or your own office. So you don't have to be present in the presence of other people. So it can be done in privacy. So that is, these are the various different advantages of multimedia training. There are certain disadvantages of it as well. First of all, it is expensive to develop. When you have to develop various different sorts of media on various different devices, then it is expensive to develop from scratch. Another problem is that it is difficult to update because you have to update all those different sorts of media. So you can update one, but it is, for example, if you have a CD, how will you update that CD? You can update an online training system, but you cannot update a CD. So you've got to launch a different version of that to update it. So it is expensive to update content in these kind of media. Then it may lead to trainee anxiety with using technology because you are using multimedia, you are providing different sorts of media. So people may not be comfortable with using various different ranges and variations of technology. So there may be anxiety among people who have a low self-efficacy with the use of technology. Then it can lead to a lack of agreement on effectiveness. So everybody within your organization, your managers, they may not be ready to commit that it is something that is effective and it is something that you are spending so much money on, and yet they may be questioning the effectiveness of that. So that can be a disadvantage of multimedia training. So we have discussed about multimedia training today. That is one of the training methods that incorporate the use of technology. We are going to start discussing about other training methods, including online training and computer-based training in the next session. So today we are going to conclude our session over here. We will meet next time discussing the other various different kind of technology-based training methods. So until next time, Allah Hafiz.